Hey, welcome to Satisfy YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about all the jobs I've had since being self-employed for 10 years, right? An entire decade of self-employment. And for this episode, I'm going to start with my very first job. By sharing about my job experiences, I hope that you can learn something if you are considering to go into the same fields that I've been in, or maybe you're just here to kaypoh about my life story. I'm more than happy to share. Now, the first job I took fresh off NS was actually being an insurance agent. Well, actually, I was a telemarketer at first, and then 3 days into the job, the manager just told me to go into the office and he tried to recruit me as an agent. So I think that is a very common tactic used by many insurance agencies. And I must say that it worked, because soon I was taking a test and I passed all of them, and then I became an insurance agent in the same agency I was doing telemarketing calls for. So fresh out of NS at 21 years old, the minimum age required to be an insurance agent, with no work experience or any other credentials, we were given fanciful titles such as financial consultant. But make no mistake, we are actually salespeople of the insurance company that we represent. Of course, we were taught to do some financial planning for our customers, but it's actually mostly an exercise in trying to identify gaps that we can then sell, solutions to. So it was actually a very sales-heavy job, and we were paid entirely in commissions. The greatest challenge of being an insurance agent, as one would expect, is to fix many sales appointments week after week so that you have enough prospects to meet to sell insurance products to. So as a new agent, I was doing a lot of telemarketing as well as going on the streets to ask people to fill out surveys. Yes, I was one of those people, but I quickly realized that I did not like to approach people on the streets and focus heavily on telemarketing. I also hired telemarketers so that I can outsource this very boring and time-consuming affair to them, and I would just meet the prospects and try to sell them something and do the closing of sales. Another way to get more appointments will, of course, be to approach your friends and family, and that requires a bit of thick skin, because your friends and family will also know what you want to do, and usually they will make some excuse not to meet you, and that can be quite demoralizing as well, coming from your own loved ones. After a few months into the job, I got into the groove of it, and I eventually started doing quite well. In fact, after 5 or 6 months, I actually drew my first 5-digit paycheck. Imagine this, a 21-year-old fresh off NS. I had no degree, I had no work experience, and I actually earned quite a comfortable amount of money. But soon after, I also realized something, and that made me want to leave the insurance company. So at the start, I was very naive. I think I was still very young back then. And I thought that everything that we were selling was actually for the good of our clients. In fact, we were told that repeatedly. We were taught that it's for their own good. Okay, insurance is great. But as an insurance agent of one single insurance company, I could only sell that insurance company's products, and they were not usually the best in the market. So after a while, I actually felt bad selling products that I thought were not the best to my clients. So eventually I moved to a company which is an IFA firm, Independent Financial Advisory, which means that instead of one single insurance company, you could sell products from multiple insurance providers. And this reduces the clash of interest, because if you want to find the best product for your client, you can actually do so by looking and comparing between different product providers. But eventually I found that there was another clash of interest, which is commissions. The thing is, for beneficial products, they tend to carry low commission, and for things that earn the agent higher commissions, they tend to be lousier for the consumer. So it became another clash of interest that I thought was very hard to overcome. For about 2 to 3 years of my life, I actually spent my time selling term policies and hospitalization policies to my clients, even though they earned me very little commission, and I was surviving on about $1,000 income every month for 2 to 3 years. Eventually, I thought this was not sustainable. I had to make a change, and I actually picked up a few tuition assignments from a friend who decided not to teach anymore. So he passed his students to me, and from then I actually started to get some regular and fixed income, which was something that an insurance agent would never really experience at the start, because you only get commissions when you sell things. So from the few assignments that I've got, it brought me to my second job, which is being a tutor. But that's another story for another time. So subscribe if you want to know my experiences working as a tutor in the next episode. So personally, I feel that being an insurance agent, it can be very challenging, but it can also be very financially rewarding. That is, if you can get over the clash of interest between you and your client. There are a lot of agents that I speak to, and they either don't believe that they are acting against their client's interest when they recommend things like ILPs or endowment policies, or they just tell me it's just a job and I want to earn money and that's it. So I was very disillusioned with the whole industry, and eventually I just started to be less and less active in it. So if you're considering joining the insurance industry, I would say be prepared for a lot of rejection. Be prepared to spend a lot of time fixing appointments. Be prepared to sell things that are of dubious benefit to your clients if you do want to earn a lot of money. And if you're looking for a financial consultant or insurance agent, just look for someone who's from an IFA, because a tied agent, meaning someone who represents a single company, will never be able to give you unbiased advice. They may even tell you there's a better product elsewhere because they want to build certain trust with you to close other products with you. So I'm highly skeptical about tied agents. In this day and age, I feel like nobody should transact with a tied agent anymore. You should just opt for an IFA. And of course, within IFAs themselves, there are also people who are very commission driven. So it doesn't mean that an IFA is necessarily a good agent. But a good agent has to be an IFA. Of course, the best way to avoid buying bad insurance policies for yourself is to brush up on your own insurance knowledge. And I write about it on my website, or subscribe to my YouTube, and I'll talk about insurance to avoid in the future. So as usual, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Or if you're an agent and disagree with what I have to say, start a fight with me in the comment section below. So I hope this video was either useful or at least entertaining to you. I think I'm still struggling with the format a little bit because I think it's very difficult to write a script that's engaging and yet effective. But I'm very happy that I've already crossed 100 subscribers. So thanks for all the support, and I hope to bring you more videos in future. So stay tuned and I'll see you next time.